delete these. So, typically speaking, I try to pay a close attention to the chat. Hello, chat. Unfortunately, it's a little hard for me to watch the Picarto chat. That requires me opening it up in the standalone thing. Um, yeah, it didn't show up on Picarto at all. That's unfortunate. But I am at least paying close attention to both the Twitch and the YouTube chat. So, uh, as you can see at the bottom note right there, you can just type in submit or list to get started on it. I think I'll get started on one of these March Heavens. We do, in fact, prioritize on people watching the stream first, since we do want to make sure that you're actually like getting our comments in real time. So, being able to get that in there uh, is highly recommended. Let me do something real quick. I'll be right back. Alrighty. But other than that, hello, welcome to the Tech Valley Game Space live stream. I am going to be your host, Taro Mia. I'm not joined by anyone yet, but I could just join on this general chat. We do have our own Discord channel, so thus my process here. But in any case, um, actually, I shouldn't be on the game. I changed my mind. Alrighty. Well, without further ado, I'm gonna get started on this. The March to Heaven by Kirby? Okay, anyways. So it's created by at least a team of 4, it sounds like. The year is 2022. Despite modern advances to healthcare, there are some things that modern medicine can't cure. Your sister suffers from one such condition, and their body is gradually shutting down. They can be preserved for a short while using life support devices, but their demise is inevitable. This is already really sad. Description: a visual novel with sim elements, juggle between management stress and earning enough cash to pay for hospital bills as you make different choices through the day and progress through the story. The game length isn't very long. You can play it in one sitting. Hope you enjoy the game. And a lot of art. Cool. Okay. Let's do this. Looks like a Renpai game. Uh, oh, interesting. I should make a new Ludum Dare 50 folder. Alrighty. So my setup here is already very, very strange. I may end up having problems, in which case I'm going to do my best to fix said problems. Okay, I expect problems to happen. Okay, I expected problems to happen, and problems did in fact happen, and it's not letting me... Alright, well, this is not useful from the audience point of view, so let me see if I can find a way to... Actually, it looks fine on my screen. Before I go too far, let's see how it looks on Twitch, because I do have an HDR screen, and OBS streaming on OBS looks really strange. Alright, so far it looks fine on that. Let me see what it looks like if I switch to properties. And the window is March to Heaven. Oh gosh, it looks so much worse. Um, uh, transform. Why can't I transform this? Oh, because of the lock screen. There we go. That was silly of me. I should have figured that out quickly. Yeah, let's just fit it to screen. There we go. Boom! Bam! I did it. Work opportunities. Thank you for your interest in our ad hoc program. Oh, bills. Great, this is probably set in the US, isn't it? Thank you for your interest in our ad hoc job program. We are glad to inform you that we have picked out various job opportunities to suit your indicated preferences. You may take them anytime by dropping in our office during work hours. Your earnings will be paid in cash at the end of the workday. Hope to see you soon. Mail from hospital. As discussed previously, we have put the patient on urgent life support and transferred her to the ICU to you. Sudden worsening of her condition. Please kindly remember to make your payment on time. Late payments will not be tolerated. Okay, that's cool. We have $0. Sure, we can go to work. So you volunteer for gig work, huh? Oh, this is already terrible. Yeah, I need cash. Excellent, cause I need people. You know how these gig works. Not really. This is terrible. It's simple. You drop in for a few hours of hard work and you get paid for your trouble as soon as you're done. If you think you have the trouble, feel free to take on more than one job, but don't use that as an excuse to sleep. You only get paid for doing work. Okay. $50. It's in the afternoon. We can visit the sister. How you doing, sis? The doctor says you should be up and about in a few days. I know the results were pretty hard to take, but I'm sure it'll be better once you wake up. Just hang in there, alright? I think I already messed up. I'll always be there here if you need me. It is the evening. Well, I can always just go work. You're back again? Yeah, you know me. I need to earn as much as possible right now. Okay, but don't work to yourself to death, right? Cool. Maybe it's better. Hey sis, you feeling any better? She is. Look, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for not noticing sooner. I know how badly you were taking it, but I just let you be. I didn't realize I was gotten so bad that you'd... Aww. I'm sorry. We should talk. Wake up soon, okay? There's a lot we need to talk about. Looks like it's crowded today. Sigh. I just noticed that there's a little face mark, which I'm assuming these are the stress level and the money are like the two things we need to actually take into account. I remember when I used to run around here all the time. For some reason I thought I'm seeing some ghost chat and I'm like looking over and I don't see anything. So how very strange. Oh, what was it that usually happened? We played pretend. I pretend I was a pirate and you tried to fight me. We'd fight until we both fell into the pond over there. The mom and dad would be screaming at us while they pulled us out, and I wish I could go back to those days. Alright, looks like stress level is low again. I mean, the bill is just $40, so... Hey, you're back. Yeah. Listen, I heard about your sister. Just wanted to know if you'd be okay. No, I'm not. Not really. She needs me to work. It's the only way to pay the way she needs. I see. Hey, listen, if you need to talk or something, hit me up, okay? It won't do any good to go through this alone. I might take you up on that sometime. Thanks. No problem. Nah. You know, I was kinda hoping you'd be up today. I even turned down some large gig and all just to see you. I don't know about you, but it's been a rough couple of days for me. I mean, he's kind of not having it here. A lot of people are still asking about you and I. Aw, I don't know what to tell them. Maybe you can think of something and tell me what to say when you wake up, alright? Sure, let's go to the park. Oh, they're trimming the grass today. Ah, the smell of freshly cut grass takes me back. What was it that usually happened? We'd play and pretend we were in another world. This place was our forest, our swamp, our wonderland. We'd throw pieces of cut grass at each other like they were toys. Mom and Dad were always mad about how much grass they had to clean up fast later. Still, wish we could go back to that world we made. You, me, even Mom and Dad, that world was perfect. I'm surprised by how much has changed since then, and yet something still looks the same. Oh, is that the time? Yay. Sis, you're awake? Not so loud. Ugh, my head hurts. Sorry. It's, good to see you up and about. So how you been? Are you treating me alright? I guess. Oh, don't give me that look. I'm fine, really. I have an ad. Have you played Virtomae? Let me see if that's actually in our checklist. Not yet. I will play that next. This is CF Ben, right? I actually forgot to, tweet. Oh, I don't have their Twitter. I don't have the TVGS Twitter open. Never mind. Yes, I will check that out next. I'm told this is a fairly short game, so hopefully I'll be okay. Look, I'm fine, really. That's good. I'm sorry I worried you when I don't know why I did that. I don't even remember much about what happened. I know, and it's okay. You gave me quite a square back then, but it's okay now. I will have to do a small patch. Give me a second then. Okay. Am I okay though? I know it's almost time for... Yeah, I know, but at least now you're awake, and we have a lot to catch up on. Hey, good to see you again. You know me, always eager for work. Thanks for the hard work today. Ah, you came back again? Is it wrong for me to spend as much time with you as I can? Well, I'm not complaining. Oh, okay, so today's bill is 55 bucks. Ah, you know what? Of all the rotten... I'm really sorry about this, folks, but it looks like you can't pay anywhere close to the full amount today. Double booking resolved. Are you kidding me? Look, I'll call you if I hear about another gig, right? Or whatever. What's with that look? The job today didn't go according to plan. I still got paid, but I don't know if it's enough. It's fine. No, it's not. If I don't make enough money to pay for this machine, it doesn't change what will happen to me in the end. Look, I know how much it costs you just to keep this thing running. I see the toll it's having on you too. If you didn't have to care for me, then... But I want to, you're right, which is why I need to take care of as much as I can now. But look at what it's doing to you. I know, but I have a lot of time to recover afterwards. For now, it's just me to do this for you. Sniff, I love you, bro. And I'm going to totally deny that by going to the park. Reminds me of that time I snuck here at dark. What was it that happened? I wanted to lose myself. I was looking to run away to somewhere I could be me. It was good while it lasted. Quiet help. This place could be whatever I wanted. Then Dad came and ruined all the fun. Looking back, maybe he had a point. but he was too harsh about it. What do you think, sis? Late payment warning. It has come to our attention that you have missed payment deadline for the hospital invoice yesterday. We have given you a late payment strike and a warning. Please be aware that there will be no such chances after this incident, and we will promptly retract our service to the second occurrence. Thank you for your... Cool. Just like the US, huh? They didn't even tell me until 5 minutes ago, so we're splitting pay among everyone. It's the fairest I can do. This can't be happening. Look, I'm not happy about it. You got anything else? This is such a waste of time. Yeah, hold her. I do have something if you're interested. Yeah, I guarantee this one's legit. So you in? Well, that's not too bad. Perfect day for a stroll in the park. Not too many people around here. You'd have loved a day in the park like this, just taking a stroll. Did something like that before we left, right? What was it that happened? You wanted to have one last walk around this place. We have so many memories here, and you wanted to leave your mark on it, so you carve your name on the side of that big tree near the center. Ha ha ha. Well, what do you know? It's still here, even after all these years. Looks like you really did leave a mark. I'm glad. Sure, why not? Hey, good to see you again. You know me, always eager for work. Thank you for the hard work today. Looks like he's fine. Hey sis. Took you long enough. I almost thought I wouldn't make it. Hey, I wasn't gonna leave you hanging on today for all days. Did the doc say anything? Yeah, tonight, maybe, sometime, tomorrow. I see. I'm fine with it. Really. Grasp. Does it hurt anywhere? No, the meds are helping with that. It's also making everything weird. I do like these very strategic use of periods. That's pretty cool. Heh, I sound weird. You know I love you, right, sis? Yeah, I know, dummy. I love you too. Well, if you need anything, let me know. Hey, could you do me a favor? Sure, what is it? Stay here with me until, well, you know. Of course. You did what you said you would. You managed to keep her alive for what little time remained. After talking through with her, you began to accept her fate just like she had already done. There was precious little time to waste on fear and sadness. As you said your last goodbye, she closed her eyes with a bright smile. The people around you were amazed that someone so young could go out with such a big smile, and in the end, that was her final gift to you. It took time for sadness to fade. Nowadays, it barely hurts when you think of her. In the end, her last gift to you, her smile and acceptance, would carry you through the years. You never stopped working hard, taking your experience during those dark days to heart. But you used them to propel onwards. Looking back, you find it ironic how you were taught an important lesson in life in face of death. How you view life and what to do with it. That's something you can control. That was a lesson her final gift taught you. Death is inevitable, but how we respond to it, how we live with it, that's something we can control. It just takes time to learn how. The end. Damakuno, Kirby, Mayanakawiz, Alpha Sentinel. Clearly I am doing a great job at reading through these names. And sure, we'll restart this. Oh no! Game lost. Oh wait, oh it's working! The game's working! Alright, so I must know what happens. It's been a long time since... Oh, I never really took time to visit. What's it been? 10? No, 20 years since I was last here in the park. My, how things have changed. I'm surprised by how much has changed since then, yet something still looks the same. Oh, is that the time? I'm surprised at how much things has changed. Something still looks the same. Oh, is that the time? Looks like it's crowded today. Aw, I remember when we used to round here. What was it? We'd just run around. Right, we'd go off running into a playground. You'd run after me and get lost. The mom and dad will frantically be running after us. I missed those days. And then we go to the park again. I'm surprised by how much things has changed yet. Some things still look the same. Oh, is that the time? Time really flies when you're reminiscing, doesn't it? It's getting late. I really should get back soon. Or maybe just a little longer. Try as you may, you must meet the costs. Maybe if you worked a little harder or budgeted better, but it's too late for those thoughts now. You try to beg and plead, saying you get double the money tomorrow. I don't know, I think the way this character in this specific timeline played didn't even know he had a sister. This seems like the perfect jerk ending. He tried to beg and plead, saying you'd get in double the money tomorrow. Unfortunately, the world can be a cruel place. You're taking up space, they said. Or at least you think that's what they said. If we can't afford the bills, we need to make way for someone who can. Besides, this outcome was inevitable. They weren't wrong. There were hundreds of other people that needed life support equipment too, people who actually stood a fighting chance. They tried to make her as comfortable as possible before they pulled the plug. What's done is done. In the end, only one thought lingers on your mind. Was this really all I could have done? The end. Sure. Well, let's do one more, because I have like a specific question. Gig work, need cash, excellent, cause I need people. Sure. You're back again. Need to, but don't work yourself to death, right? Hey, good to see you again. I heard about your sister. Just wanted to know if you're doing okay. Oh, yes, I'm fine. You sure? Yeah, of course. I appreciate the concern, but there's no need to worry about me. Interesting. Oh, it's B-52. You're back again? I'm definitely trying to work myself to death and see what happens. Hey, you know me. Need to earn as much as possible right now. Gotta find out what happens. Hey, boss. You heard about that special offer today? You mean the extra work? Extra work that pays double. Yeah, what about it? You interested? I heard you're in a tight spot now and could use it. Sure, I'll take it. Yeah, I could definitely use that right now. So you in? Yeah, most likely. Nice. Well, change your mind and I'll re-up your slot for someone else. Noted. Always eager for work. Interesting. You can't even choose anything else. You tried your best, you really did, but in the end you couldn't take it anymore. Between the work bills and seeing her like that. We didn't even see her! There's another jerk around where we didn't even know our sister existed. You lie slumped over in a corner of your apartment with only a single thought on your mind. I'm sorry I couldn't do more for you. Interesting. Um... I mean, it was cute. Alright, the usual... I should actually talk about this instead of giving you a blank screen. Let me open this in the meantime so I actually have things queued up properly. Oop. Is this a download? Bachi omae. Looks like a Game Maker game. Alright. Right. So, I do actually genuinely try to spend some time. So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to participate in this Ludum Dare, and I know there's a Ludum Dare extra opportunity. I am not going to take that for various reasons, various personal and legal reasons. I am now working as a professional game developer, and I am certainly in talks with the game companies attorneys for that. I've actually mentioned it on my own um, Twitter profile. So this is known information. But anyways, yeah, I said that was cute. Obviously the adorable aesthetics was certainly being used to just kind of mellow out the subject matter. And I think that presentation really helped. For me, I mean, I was a complete jerk at those last two routes just because I wanted to know what happens if you were, if you pretended your sister did not exist. And uh, certainly didn't feel like the writing took that into account, but that's okay. Um, the fact that there was no introduction to set up for the game, like you can imagine a lot of people like not bothering to read the game description and just jumping in. So I'm assuming there was a bit of, time there was a bit of a time crunch to add in an introduction uh, scene to describe like, oh, this is what you're supposed to do, or like, this is the current story situation you're in. The fact that it wasn't there kind of concerns me a little bit. Granted, now that I actually, or the fact that I actually read the game description certainly put me in a context of understanding what was going on. So I thought that was like um, I didn't particularly see a problem because I think I approached the game with an expectation that the game designers had, but I can see some people walking in having not read the description and not knowing that the hospital option is supposed to be where you go to your sister's hospital, whatever, and check her out. I did think the interface was, for the most part, fairly straightforward and easy to understand. At least I certainly was able to quickly figure out where things were. Um, the the fact that you only had three locations that you can visit, but the purpose of them was pretty clear. I think it would have been nice to see the stats displayed in a more intuitive fashion than the way it was right now. Yeah, obviously the stress meter was designed with 0 to 100 format. Um, then there was also the money, and the bills didn't really make much sense to me until the three phases were over. I like it required experimentation for me to figure out like how many sessions you had, how many actions you could take per cycle. So per day, that is, which the answer obviously was three. But like it wasn't immediately obvious to me that like my funding was deducted or like how much the funding has increased between certain things. So to me, it was kind of interesting to like have that not like it was kind of strange from in my opinion to not display the actual changes that each action has taken. So it would have been nice to actually see the UI accommodate and like really portray how these numbers have changed based off of what actions you're taking and what the consequences would be should you should you ignore some of those. I know one of those consequences was just like flat out ending if any of those meters goes too high or the medical bill was too low or something like that. Like that's good. um I was thinking more along the lines of like if there was something there to make it clearer. I do like the face meter next to the stress. I kind of think the little stress plot chart was not really useful as a visual. It would have been better if the face was used as a replacement for it for the stress thing. Um, the face expression itself was very indicative of the state and how dangerous it was for our character to be dealing with. It was kind of funny that they started with zero stress level, despite the fact that, the sister fell over, and you're like, you know what, everything is fine. Everything is completely fine. That was just kind of like a weird disconnect between the stats and the actual context. I was actually surprised to see that, like, visiting your sister does not affect your stress level, both negatively and positively, which was really strange to me. I don't know if the game at all required you to visit your sister in any way. I should actually try playing this game without visiting the sister ever, and then, but like actually paying for the bills anyways. It would have been kind of funny for you to suddenly have like a good ending for no reason. Um, I don't know. There's a there's a lot of interesting potential behind it. Um, like I said, I think the presentation did a really good job, and the general UI placements of the buttons in particular were fairly self-explanatory and easy for me to navigate. Um, I think the writing was pretty good for the most part. Um, it was rather preachy at the end. I kind of didn't like the whole very sacred. So I like the part where your sister, inevitably draws her last breath. There's a really poetic moment where you're like talking about how serious the moment was, but at the same time, like not making it the most negative thing ever. Um, it's it's nice to have a significant dramatic factor removed, and just kind of describe things the way as it was happening inside our character's head. Because, like, it's so easy to write, like, oh, how bad and horrifying it was for someone to die. But this was like a nice change of pace where you still feel the weight of the seriousness of the situation, um, and like it's forcing your character to contemplate about their life decisions. But at the same time, like I really didn't need to know all the ways it did so. Um, like I think the way it ended with, your sister ended with a big smile and everyone was surprised that that was possible. Like I think that alone, like that sort of message alone is one that'll stick with me. But then the whole message about like, oh, you should make the most out of your life is like, come on. I heard that a million times. I don't need that, right? I don't know. That's just my opinion about that. It was, like I said, it was mostly good. I just found it again just a little too long. And I mean, I was compelled to suggest, like, which I'm doing now, I was compelled to suggest cutting a chunk of it out. I don't think there needs to be a moral in the story explained, right? You could have finished that, I feel, with a single sentence being like, from then on, I took a very long night to think about it, but from then on, I decided to make the most of out of my life, just like my sister, or something to that effect, right? I think that would have helped me appreciate the ending a little more. Um, but like the moments written up to that has been really good. Um, it was really bizarre to have a story like have your sister basically be sleeping for the first 2 or 3 days. I think that was intentionally meant to like that was intentionally supposed to make the player confused and perhaps even make the wrong decision. It's an interesting artistic decision. I don't think it's a wrong one, and it certainly caught me off guard. But also, I always think like there was a meaning behind that, and I'm trying to like kind of internalize whether I like that decision or not. And I think I'm leaning towards the I liked it end. Um, at least it makes the player more likely to see the wackier endings that I've discovered at the end of the gameplay. But I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards the more like end, but only slightly so. It was interesting way of pacing the game and just sort of setting up the player in a really weird way. Like obviously when she's waking up, right? It's intended to make it like a really dramatic moment. And I've already said that I really like the part where she's clearly out of breath. Like the way you try to infer that in the sentence is really cool. I really like that. Um, a clever use of the writing medium. Um, but yeah, no, I don't know. I think I like that, but barely. All right, I'm done babbling on. Let's actually do the thing that I said I will do and install this. I don't need this. Operation did not complete succeeded because the file output contains a virus or potentially unwanted software. Uh, CF Ben, what is this about? Let's I'm using a Windows Defender, by the way. For some reason, my Avast always searches the game through too. Um, we can always re-download this. Um, it makes perfect sense why it's catching it, in my opinion. Gonna have to do some wacky things here. Let's see. Does it give me view security dashboard? I'm not showing anything here, obviously. That's check update, manage settings. Um, all right, let's see if this works. Oh my goodness, I pulled it off. All right, let's turn these virus scanners back on. Um, oh, okay. Made with Fusion, Alpha. Like what happens if I make it bigger? All right, I can actually full screen this then. All right, sweet. Give me a minute. Let me see if I can make this work. So I'm trying my best to I have an HDR screen. Hopefully this won't look badly over bloated. How does it look on your screen? Does the colors look correct? Looks just fine. Oh no, it deleted itself. Like the file literally deleted itself. Um, I am highly concerned. What happened? Oh, now I am too, to be honest. Um, what happened? I wanted to acknowledge Learning Game Development on YouTube was posting a comment. Hi. Um, as you can see, I'm trying to respond to Twitch most of the time. Uh, but this is very strange. All right, I tried that earlier. Um, not this one. All right, one more time. Wait a minute. All right, a couple of peeps trying to submit. That's good. Um, see if this does the right thing. By KKO and Benjamin Apps as official reboot of Quokka Team. All right, I'm here. I should probably read the game plot. So the game plot says a 2000 style fully customizable virtual pet game. Take care of your virtual buddy of choice. Have fun together. Play an increasing number of mini games. Listen to music and watch videos to make sure they are satisfied. You can also connect with your friends. One day, a little robot vacuum from space landed on Earth, crashing into a small town laboratory. After being discovered in a pile of shards and rubble by one of the interns, the cutesy device turns out to be a friendly, pet-like companion with a very unusual power, turning itself or all of its surrounding into any object imaginable. Deciding to befriend and reverse engineer the small cleaner, turning itself or all of the surroundings into any objects imaginable. Deciding to befriend and reverse engineer the small cleaner, your goal is to help them survive, stay happy, and make sure the mission of exploration is successful before time for the inevitable grand return to Venus. Mouse buttons, escape, leave the minigames in some other scenario, R, send the robot back, resetting the game. I am hungry. Oh, okay, so your pop-up. Hunger. Um, full. Snack. Pet. Use the 1 by 1 square for the best results. I, so I should probably switch to this. Um, I don't know. I don't like this. Nah, cancel. Inside. We'll just give you some snacks. TVGS. Alright, let's go to the arcade. Click on the dot next to the chosen option. It's kind of loud. Also, the sound effects are really repetitive. Boop 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 boo. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh, that's a good number. It was supposed to be inspired by Tamagotchis in the sound design too. Okay. Care. Oh no! Escape? Oh, okay. Uh, it was supposed to be to care, clean the robot with the towel. Oh, I see. Look at that. There's even a meter. It's hard, like, given its minimalism, it's hard to tell what is a UI element and what isn't. Yeah, I guess I need to work on that. Alright. So I don't know what this pet thing is. Let me see if I can search some random things here. Let's download this, save image as, sure. Then go back here, and then we'll say pet. Use 1 by 1 square results for best here. Oh my god, it's perfect. Oh, we have done it. All right, so the insides, we can do this too. Oh, look at that. It's so perfect. Also, you have a shop and the thing you were opening earlier was the customization tool. This is all I needed right here. All right, cool. Um, so there's shop and salon. We don't have a lot of money. We can buy some eyelashes, and I like red. So there's a talent show stage too. Wow. Okay, there's an arcade. We can drive apparently. Oh, snap! Oh, snap! One day I'm gonna figure out how to do this. Oh, okay. It's really fickle. Darn it. Darn it. Fine. Fine, be that way. There's a slider bar up here for some reason. Also, the game has a scroll bar at the top. It allows you to change position. Oh, I see. You had to make the scroll bar changes dramatic enough to be able to even see the ghost. It doesn't scale properly though, I see. Well, I mean the implication that you're not shooting things as just setting the light on them is cute, I guess. Pardon me. I think Tamagotchi was a brainchild of um of a small girl, if memory serves correct, like a 10-year-old girl or something. All right. Apparently I did something. What? To learning game development, I'm just curious if you have a submission already. I know, or there was somebody else that was trying to pull a submission in Twitch actually, not YouTube. All right. Wow, that happened. All right, let's go back. I uh, that was that was something. All right, little buddy. I don't know. Oh, there's music. Oh, there's ways to add music to the game. Let's escape out of that. All right. Not sure what else to do. Oh, the ball bounces randomly. That's cool. Oh. Since the remember time it does things accordingly, you should sometimes have to pick up trash. Since the robot is like a Roomba. Also, most of the time spent on creating a time-based engine, since it remembers the time and does things accordingly, you should have to pick up the trash. Okay, I think I understand now. So this is my way of being negligent and not bothering. Oh, I think 113 is a good number, or 14. There, look at that. Also, we made a lot of money for some reason. Um, what's this? Yeah, let's get 2 pills. Alright, we spent some medicine. I have no idea what that did. Hmm. This is a little rude of me, but I need to do a little bit of self-care. I'll be right back, but long story short, I need to go to the bathroom. It increases the care stat. Oh, interesting. But be right back. I'm back. Uh, doesn't look like there was more trash collection since. Interesting. I wonder what's going on with... Like, I deliberately left this running just to see if over the period that I was at the bathroom, it would do anything. But doesn't look like it. Um, 7:03. Uh, I would start liking to get to a couple of other games soon. Um, before I do that, the trash appears when you open the game after some time. Oh, interesting. Yeah, there's a couple of people online right now, so I should probably jump to um, other games soon. But you know what? I'll play this driving game since I'm bad at it. Daw! Daw! Alright, there's trash. Um, sure, let's do that again. Not sure I like how short this is. Like, there's not a lot of screen estate for me to react. I don't know why that didn't count, but okay. Duh! I would have liked like a game to pause a little bit as I'm getting hit. First time chat from viewer. Hello, says Turkey Dev. Um, well, let's go to home, I guess. Nothing to see here, apparently. What can we do to shop? We can buy you glasses. That's amazing. And it's like you're never going hungry right now, so... What about the talent show? 14! Wow. Didn't even make it. Um, sure. More driving. Alright, it does actually detect it. That's good to know. Let me keep testing that. The pet gets hungry after half an hour, I think. Ooh, that's a bit long. Okay, so it does detect it. Cool. This reminds me a lot of Bit Trip Void. Darn. 70, huh? Darn! Ah. 40. How hungry the pet is and such. Okay. Uses PC time settings to figure this out. Oh, interesting. Sure. Let's give you a bow tie. What's this rug gonna do? Oh, we hit 20! And then Basil is still up there. Darn. Look at that! We are improving. Alright, there are some changes I'm seeing here. Whoa! So I've already started kind of with the I've already started with a little bit of criticism for the driving game. For this basically arachnoid game, um, I feel the bounces are very unpredictable, and I don't know if that's on purpose or not. Um, Certainly the way you present the game, it's disturbing to me that like the ball is not reflecting off of these objects as I would expect. Um, so like for example, that looks a little unusual. Uh, I think I think specifically arachnoid hitting the ball on the edge does in fact reflect the ball in a different angle. So like there's an actual strategy on how you want to bounce the ball back. All right, sweet. Very clicker gamey thing here. Darn. All right. No, too quick. This semi on purpose, the randomness. Let's see, what else comes to mind? The arcade. So this game, I don't get this, to be completely honest. Like, I get that I'm supposed to collect these, presumably power-ups, but, I have all the time I need, unlike the other games. So I kind of get the feeling of what's the point of this, right? I don't know what the fail condition is either. That's not immediately obvious to me. Okay, apparently it's when the ball touches the edge of the screen. Let me double verify that. Interesting. The criteria for it is unusual to me. Also, like, why does the mouse spill apart? That doesn't, to me, make any sense. And I can't do that right now, so what does the little star thing do in comparison to the ball? I don't understand the difference there. Alright, so once you hit 70, it's like the game is over, okay. Waiting for the trash to collect. That is reminiscent of a game that I know. If you move in a proper direction, it allows the orb to move slowly. Hmm. I know, like, intentionally, a lot of these games are supposed to be, like, basic time wasters. And almost fine. I think individually they're not quite. I'm trying to think of the right words here. There's a certain level of complexity that I kind of wish some of these games had. Um, like this game, for example, doesn't have um, depending on what corner the ball is bouncing off of or what side it's bouncing off of, you can change the trajectory of the ball. There's like a certain, uh, to me, adding that feature creates an interesting amount of complexity that makes the game a little more engaging. Um, It is also a little strange that what I'm destroying are not blocks, but like, UFOs. So that's a little strange. Um, and other stuff. Like I wasn't expecting power-ups per se, but it would be nice to actually see some. For the ball orb thing, like I've already mentioned that the end condition for that is really ambiguous to me. And well, not so much ambiguous as it's not like you have to deliberately um, invoke it, which is bizarre and not exactly what I'd call fun, I guess. In fairness, The Sims has no The Sims doesn't have um, a forced end condition, but there's still an element of time in that game where you can like create fail conditions on whatever game that you're basically playing for The Sims. So to me, that's kind of the part where I'm just like, maybe having maybe having an end condition is not necessarily a bad thing. I don't know. It's just presented in a very strange way. I think I've already mentioned that, like, for me, the part that I don't like too much about the Ghost game has more to do with controls. That was weird. What happened there? Um, the controls where you have to like scroll through the screen. I think the scrolling through the screen is an interesting concept. But like for other games that implement something like that, usually they have a little bit of zones where you can basically hover your mouse over the edge of the screen, and the screen will automatically turn towards that direction or scroll towards that direction. And I think something like that would have helped the Ghost game a little bit. Um, because there's also the fact that it makes it look like a continuous world. Oh, the ball looks like it's going a little faster. Interesting. Yeah, the pace of this game also could use a little bit of work. Um, it's only now where I'm like, oh, I should actually focus. Although apparently we're out of waves now. It was just a really long thing rather than infinitely generated UFOs. It's gonna miss, isn't it? Like, I have no way of controlling the ball's trajectory outside of just bouncing it back, so I feel like that's not fun to me, but that's just me. Oh, apparently I can hit it in the corner. Hooray! Oh, nothing. Oh, wait. Why do I have so much money now? All right, let's do a rug pull. Um, 25. Name. TVGS. Yeah. I don't know what that did. The amount of points. I don't know what happened there, to be honest. Um, I mean, we can buy a lot more medicine now. Look at that. There's a rug. Okay, I think this is enough. I think I've played enough. All right. Aspects of it are still right. I haven't. So as mentioned earlier, I can't really rate games. Um, I've been doing a lot of complaining, so I'm trying to think of all the things that I could compliment about the game because I don't want to leave you back thinking like, oh, I thought that this game was terrible or like there's nothing good about the game or anything like that. There's a kernel of a really interesting idea. Um, and it may just be that I'm not the target audience for this. So I'm gonna think about this a little more, but um, what did I like about the game? So there were a few things I did in fact like about the game. The customization options that you've added in, though crude, are all really interesting to me. Like you can change your house decoration. You can change, you know, what the robot looks like. I'm not sure I like the changing significantly how the robot looks like per se, but like there's an actual shop and a customization option for that. It would have been nice and more interesting to see if there was a way to add furniture inside a room and that could be like a shop item as well. Anyways, there's a lot of these like really gratifying rewards that you can unlock from the game that kind of allows you to, you know, play it sort of like an idle game in a way, where you just kind of wait to get the points necessary, which technically allows me to connect my game to other games and add points from them into this one. Interesting. Um, the the idea of having mini games that you can just kind of prompt and it automatically adds it in is really interesting too. I just noticed I'm not actually seeing comments show up. I thought I set that up. Give me a minute. Yeah, that's in there somewhere. Where the heck? Sorry, I'm bothered by this. Transform center to screen, and I don't see it. Why do I literally not see this? Uh, let me test this real quick. Testing. Okay, it's saying that it's there, and but why is it not showing up? I'm sorry. This is me being silly, but I kind of care. I will work on making the Arachnoid meet Space Invader thing more possible to control and rework the snake thing a bit. The snake idea is interesting. I was gonna suggest taking a look at Bit Trip Void if you haven't seen that yet. Um, that one, that game in particular had a really engaging system where there were dots that you were supposed to collect and dots you were not supposed to collect. And collecting too many of the wrong dots basically put you into game over. I'll say the Bit Trip Void is a very hard game, as with the rest of the Bit Trip series. So keep that in mind if you end up playing that. But yeah, I mean, I liked it. I like the game. It is not my favorite bit trip game though. Could use. It's a little bizarre in some places. Um, right. So you have like a lot of these customization options that I think were really cool. It wasn't clear to me what led to certain aspects of the game decrementing. Like there's a hunger meter, a care meter, and a game meter. Fine. But I don't know what raised the game meter a lot. And the hunger meter in particular, I just almost never seen it drop to zero. So that's kind of really strange and bizarre to me. So like effectively then I felt like that stat didn't mean anything. Um, I guess most of my problems really had more to do with UI, if anything. It was a rather hard game to navigate. You have all these information that you're trying to convey, and they're useful information. You have it in a way where, like hunger meter and care meter, you hover over the meter and it makes it clear uh, that's the purpose of the meter itself. And I think that's good. It was just really strange to me that the way things were positioned, like the way they were, I was not able to tell at a glance, especially looking at this screenshot too. I was not able to tell at a glance which ones did which, so on and so forth. So yeah, that one was a little strange. I've already mentioned that it was not immediately obvious to me for the towel that I was supposed to wipe the robot with the mouse. You have you made it so that it's not a drag and drop thing, but you click once and that becomes your cursor changes. So I don't know how you can fix that, but in a way, some people prefer just click, and other people prefer drag and drop. But it'll be nice to see some differences, some ways to uh, improve the usability of that design as well. I would like to see more ways to really personalize with a pet. I feel like one thing that the Tamagotchi series did really well was that like there was a sense of personality. Oh, playing the games well, the hunger meter drops in real time. Okay. Um, there was a sense of personality with Tamagotchis that I feel like I didn't see here. Um, and I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is I would like to see that changed in a way. Um, oh, why is this the size of? Anyways, I'm blabbering about something else entirely. Uh, yeah, I don't know if that makes any sense, but I just sort of like I just sort of thought that it was a circle where I can add some things to, like a bow and sunglasses, and that was it, right? It didn't feel like it had a personality. It did feel like Roomba, in fairness, but Roombas don't make me think they're cute. They just make me think, oh, it's a robot. And I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's intentional. I feel like when you put in a hunger meter, you're trying to tell me it's not a robot. So I don't know. That gives me mixed feelings. Sorry. I hope that all these commentaries helped. I'm trying my best not to be too mean about it. Um, Also, there are pop-ups that tells you what each of the options is. Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, this helped a lot. Also, the chat is actually showing up. That's nice. And I cannot move this chat for some reason. Um, Why can I not? Let me play around with this a little bit. This doesn't let me do that. Oh, I know what happened. Transform, position. What happens if I put this at 100? It is not taking any numbers whatsoever. How very strange. Okay. I'm sorry, OBS is being a jerk right now, and I don't like it. I have some ideas to add. Like, I have some ideas how to add uh, stuff you have also mentioned. Thank you for showing me that would be helpful. Gotta love it. I've been using predecessor since click and play time, so it's not too clunky to me. Interesting. You're talking about Click Fusion, yes? Gee, this is annoying. It might have just been better for me to not touch these. I'm so sorry. And it's not taking in any numbers too. How very, very strange. All right, I'm just gonna disable this feature for now. How very weird. All right, there's a lot of people up here, so I should actually try going through these pretty quickly. There was an entry for Choboro. Davey is here. Turkey Dev. So, okay, there's Davey is here. Vixen Mink, Ensadi, Disorientation, Ankeko, and Mooks. Are any of you online right now? I want to make sure that I'm playing your games first. Also, I just noticed I should probably zoom in to this so they can actually see. I'm here. Davey is here. I do try to go by entry order, and if you are here, I go by entry order. So I'm double checking to make sure if anyone else is here. But disorientation is also here. Okay. I don't see mooks, so I'll go with blockage after all. Boop, boop. Sure, it's a web game. there were some notes here. A surreal horror game with a theme revolving around a mysterious illness has a certain unsettling atmosphere, but doesn't feature violence. Okay. Um, is it supposed to? Well, I guess I can always just zoom in. Your enhance. All right, cool. That's good enough, I guess. Feel like I should just download it instead. If I can, that is. Oh no! It opened on the wrong screen. This is not fun. Um, Come on. No, it literally does not let me. Okay, you know what? Wow, what a jerk. Oh, look at that. That's so much better. This feels like a Godot game. It's either a Unity game or a Godot game, and then Godot is the first one that immediately comes to my mind. Either that or G-Develop. Maybe it's a G-Develop game. Oh yeah, I also did not read the game synopsis, so I should probably do that too. Blockage! Find the source of your strange symptoms. Atmospheric exploration with light action elements, featuring stylized cutscenes and moody music. Arrow keys to move, space to action. Made for Jam 72. Got it. Space. I had not been feeling well that you know, this is supposed to be a horror game, so I should try like a voice. I'll have to think of a voice that I want for this game. I had not been feeling well that day, lately. I came to work as usual, but for some reason it feels hard to concentrate on my task at hand. There's this peculiar tingling in my head. It somehow makes me feel detached from everything. I wonder if it's because of my new medication. It's already lunchtime. Decided to come to my usual place down the street. Oh, I like this visual. Strange. It's as if I had lost my sense of taste recently. Uh, I don't really understand. My face is feeling numb. Going into the shadow realm. Oh, cool. Oh, there's actual action. Alright, so that's the level. And here's my medicine. Looks like that's a baddie. We need to fight it. Hopefully the music is not too loud. This is not very horror-y music, but I do like the surrealism and like the tone so far. So, I'm not exactly the biggest horror fan, but I am a surrealist fan. So, like, you already got me sold within the description of the game. It's like, okay, this is gonna be a weird game, and I am absolutely down for that. Totally what I want. All right, so there's a blockage. Cool. Calling this a horror is a bit of a stretch. thank you all for appreciating my horrible voice acting. How do you make visuals like this? Some kind of image effect? Well, there's an overlay. So there's an after image effect going on right here, where some sort of animated dust particles are happening. Other than that, it looks like a bunch of pixelated images. And it looks like the pixel sprites themselves are, you know, formed like there's no deformation or anything. So I'm assuming they're just normal pixel images. My teammate did most of the visuals. I think he used a complex method involving some AI filters and Photoshop magic. Oh, cool. What's this? Well, okay, it's something very new and I don't know what it did. Oh, these are really grinding my gears right now. 54, 1, 3, 10, 31. Okay, so these are the machines. And that's a clog. Okay, so there's a weird electronic machine clogging things. And there's a bunch of mysterious numbers. I mean, that all does indeed add up to 54. These are red blood cells. You can use the power-up while using the space. Oh, I get it. Thank you. Nice. Alright, we're gonna leave the machine intact for now. Can we kill blood cells? Yes, we can. Nice. Gotta kill everything. I mean, that's what drugs do. They kill everything, right? Apparently not the gears. I don't know, those inflammation doesn't look great to me. Oh, I think there was an interesting study going on. They were trying to figure out what the heck why the heck COVID causes the what's the word I'm looking for? They were trying to figure out why COVID causes their sense of smell to disappear. And apparently your brain or anything like that doesn't actually change at all. Oh, you move a lot faster. That's cool. But what happens instead is that your nerve system for your sense of smell, mind you, I don't think this is quite approved yet, but approved as in it's quite verified yet, but as I understood it, apparently it's because it causes an inflammation to the nervous system of your sense of smell, so that effectively, you know, blocks/ruins your ability to smell if you catch COVID. So that's apparently what the COVID virus does. My perfectionist. Oh, you can shoot in 8 directions. Nice. The soundtrack feels like it fits with Metroid. Yeah, there's a specialized areas in your brain involving some sense of smell and taste, which can deteriorate because of different reasons. Yep. You clearly know more about this than I do. I'm just a programmer. This isn't supposed to be a medically accurate portrait, though. Alrighty, this reminds me a lot of, Helix. Very abstract game jamming. Sure. Aw, snap, it's turned 0! And my ears hurt. Yeah, I'm a fan of both Metroid and Helix, so it's of no surprise we can spot some influences, I guess. It's a car! Oh, it's a person lying down. April 1st was a joke. April 4th. My recollection of the last few days is a bit hazy. Wait, I'm supposed to do the hoo-hoo sound. My recollection of the last few days is a little bit hazy. It seems I passed out when I was at the restaurant. And now, I'm here. With you. Funny though. Apparently, they had me scanned. They said that my underlying condition has improved. If I'm lucky, I might be expected to recover in 6 months. I guess I should take a bit easier for some time now. Blockage. Made for Ludum 50 by Disorder and Ankia. Delay the inevitable. Thanks for playing. Ah! Darn, it really is the end, isn't it? The EXE just throws you out. Makes sense. Art, SFX design, music, SFX. Alright, yeah, no, the graphics I really liked. This was pretty cool. I liked it. The graphical presentation, the story and the way it's presented, was really, really cool. I see the whole point of it was, you know, this person apparently had a really interesting diet. And the medicine helped clean up, I guess, some blood vessel inflammation and clottings. So, makes sense. Find the source of your strange symptoms. Although it sounded, yeah, I guess we never figured out what the source was. It was a little bizarre that there was a whole clock under in him. I guess some surgeon really messed up. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what it was. Surgeons mess up often, unfortunately. Um, right. The stuff I liked. So again, music, graphics, the presentation overall. Um, Originally we wanted to portray the brain, but the level design ended up to result vowels instead. I liked. So it was interesting that the game has this like ability for me to move around in all 8 directions, and I thought I really liked that. Um, Also, you mentioned Helix. I don't know if you played any other Ludum Dare games that the same game dev made. They're all equally bizarre and interesting. What was I thinking? Right. So I did like that you can move in 8 directions. It was fairly straightforward for that purpose. Um, you know, it felt primarily like a narrative game. It was interesting to me that like there was no real danger in the game, but I also felt it was kind of okay because it already started with a narrative introduction. So to me, I was already primed to understand that this was going to be mostly a narrative focused game. That had some problems in the sense that it wasn't as focused on the narrative as I thought it was. Um, but uh, at least it helped explain why the, I assume, drug um, didn't, was not something that could be stopped. Like it was something that, well, I guess it can be stopped. It was not something that could be killed. Like I wouldn't die as a consequence of that. So that was interesting to me. Problems, not problems, things that I think could use improvements. Um, I have a couple in mind. Obviously, the most obvious, the part that I didn't like was that it didn't tell you that you can press the space button to fire your coin or whatever. It would have been nice to actually give you that instruction. Um, R Revel AO, I see. Um, so it would have been nice if after collecting that power up, it would have told me that. Some of the bizarre power-up designs, like I'm totally okay with like this one for example. I'm totally okay with these designs not really being explained. Um, but it would have been nice to uh, it would have been nice at least for the one that actually mattered, the shooting one. You would have told me, hey, that's something that you can do. Um, the range of it was pretty short, so I had to get clever at some parts. I That does feel like an intentional game design, in fairness, so I don't think that was as big of a problem. There was a very weird and strange diegetic um, way of telling you how you were progressing in the game, which I guess was interesting. Yeah, I would have wanted to add a got power up box. We were in a real hurry. Understandable. Um, which actually kind of created an interesting system, I guess. Um, but the fact that that number is not available to you at all times, to me makes it like not exactly well, but you still had those um clots around the machine. So I guess the original intent was that uh when you told the player that they can fire, they would see those numbers change. Hmm. I had to think about that feedback a little bit. Maybe a different way of portraying it would have been okay, I see. Maybe it would have been better if the debug count or the counters. So as you collect the power up, the path behind you clots, right? But the more I added them, but I more added them there as a sort of a joke. I think it was useful for me because like when you're traveling around and there's not an obvious destination, first off, you kind of need to guide the player a little bit because they need to know what the objective is, and it's hard to get the player to be invested until they understand what the objective of the game is. Actually, this is not exactly true. Um, I've already mentioned Sims being one example where where the player creates their own objective, but um, I think it's important to show what the intended design is, right? To kind of show them and tell them you should go here or like you should be doing this or whatever. I actually had an idea for radar as power up or small maps of sorts. I can see that working. Um, anyways, so I guess if I were to keep a diegetic counter in the game, my process would have been like to deliberately trap the player, because that forces them to learn um, the shooting mechanic, and that the bullets themselves are a way to get past the the blockage that you just spontaneously created. But especially if the debug counter is visible on the screen, then it'll also tell the player like, oh, we need to decrease this number. That's the objective of the game. So I think that would have been like a really cool teaching moment for the player to make them realize like what the objective of the game is and what they're supposed to do and so forth. Interesting. Um, I would have liked to see, even on an adventuring purposes, more environmental like storytelling cues, like basically environment storytelling going on. It would have been great if the blockade would trap you in the computer room. It would have been interesting to see like an explanation beyond just, you have a lot of clots. Like if there's a way, you added in a meat computer, which is already a very surreal thing, right? So like what happens if you also added in like these computer viruses? Um, computer viruses is a poor phrasing. Like machine viruses crawling around or something like that. I feel like there could have been a lot of storytelling potential. I know this is asking for a lot within 72 hours. Feel like there could have been a lot more storytelling potential in some places where like the environment could do the storytelling. Like maybe, for example, there's a donut stuck in the background or whatever wacky shenanigans. Um, to just kind of drive to the point of, oh, this is the source. This is where, yeah, we have even wilder ideas than that. This is the reason why, like, your character was feeling sick. Interesting idea. Certainly, the game length was the right length for me, given the scope and given the features that was in the game itself. Um, I didn't get too lost, but I'm pretty good at directions, so maybe that's the reason why I didn't feel like I got too lost on that. Yeah, no, very cool. I liked it. I think I have energy for one more game. I know Disorientation, you're still here, so I'll be more than happy to play your game. Um, Blockage, let's double check to see who is online. Um, Davey is here. That is a mouthful. I don't see Sadie. Um, I do see Veli Dragon and J Revel. No, I don't see J Revel. Wait. Oh, I need to refresh. Okay. Oh, lots of people here. Right. Sure. Choroboro. Nice. It's a pinball game. Got it. Enhance. I need to zoom out a little further. Does that work? Maybe? I can probably enhance a little further by just pressing F11. All right. Choroboro is a pinball-like game. except it's in your guts. Tutorial. Drag with the left mouse to push Chobo, blue boy. Boro, yellow boy, jumps whenever he wants to. You get a chance to push Boro by touching Boro with Chobo, slow motion. Press ZX to flick the doors at the bottom of the guts. The two doors will slowly move away from each other. Digest Boro by sending it into the left part of the guts. Every time Boro is digested, the two doors move closer to each other. Oh, okay, so I see. Get score by hitting dots with your boys, and try to keep Chobo and Boro in the guts as long as you can. Don't forget to leave a comment to show us your best score. Unfortunately, I can't do that. Can I? Oh wait, I can always put a comment. You know what? I think I should do that for everyone. I'll get back to that as soon as I can. I will be back. So the directions are fairly straightforward. I'll be back. I just need to grab some water and make sure that I actually hydrate. So we'll return very shortly. Uh, hmm. Hopefully that makes me audible. Right. Let's do this. Oh, I didn't even have to enhance. What? Darn. I should just reset. There we go. Uh, Yar. You might want to fix that. Um, I don't like Unity's default WebGL template, so blurg. But there's I can talk about that later. Anyways, start Z X space. Drag with mouse left to push Chobo. Boro jumps whenever he wants to. Alright, score by hitting dots with your boys. Try to keep Chobo and Boro in the guts as long as you can. I'm not sure I understand the slow motion mechanic. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Let's try that again. There. No. Why? Oh, what happened there? Ah, just so you know, you can drag whenever you want to push them. All right, let's see if I can figure this out. Wait, what? Very strange physics going on there. Darn. I could prolong the game a little longer by like making it so that I can get the yellow Choro, I think, on the left gut, which makes sense. Like so. Oh, okay. Right. The fact that you need to manage both of them is a little strange. Darn. The inevitable happened. I wonder if is there an advantage to actually making this full screen versus not? Like, can I? Okay, there's actually an advantage of not making this full screen. Interesting. I'm not sure I like that. I kind of would have liked it if, while I'm dragging, the blue character did not move. Oh no! Alright, just gotta keep working on this, I guess. Darn. No! Oh, I'm not sure I like the paddle graphic. I'm sure the shape is the actual physical shape is fine. But the reason why I don't like it is because it gives this impression that they're not a straight block. But the physics does not imply otherwise. And certainly the hardest part I'm having a hard is figuring out where the edge actually ends. Um, I mean, so far it's pretty cute. The now that I'm getting a far better idea of it after playing it a couple of times, like I see the interesting part of the game, which is of course the fact that you can actually drag the Blue Boy whenever you want to, which is actually I think a cool feature in and of itself. Um, I would have liked to um, the fact that I have limited control over the character is I think good in a way. Like, but I also have now two balls to like actually take into consideration for this pinball, and that's a little hard for me to manage at the same time. Um, but maybe that's just me being really terrible at pinball, in fairness. Darn. Alright, well, I think I got the idea. Just so you know, you can drag whenever you want to push them. Okay, interesting. So I'm just thinking, um, I mean, I like, so I like the ideas that are being combined with this pinball genre. I think there's a really, really interesting idea going on with what if you can do the whole drag and drop feature, but apply it to one character that can be dragged around and another character that has some really bizarre ball physics. I'm not sure, to be honest, I'm a huge fan of Boro due to the like, um, significant randomness factor to it. I'll go back. Actually, you know what? So let me try emphasizing a couple of things. So, um, Chobo was clearly designed to be incredibly overpowered as like a power up, right? And so like there's a couple of parts where like literally you can just go to send Chobo to where you want if you're fast and coordinated enough. And I think that's really um, I can understand why you wanted to make sure that Chobo wasn't as overpowered by adding a Boro element to it. And so you made it, I think you overcompensated though with Boro being nigh uncontrollable the grand majority of the time. And so like you have to use Chobo's overpoweredness to redirect Boro to wherever you want anyways. And I think the intent behind the randomness jumping is to really make that difficult. Um, so it's not like a straightforward, easy to do kind of thing. And I think that's an interesting way to solve the problem. It almost feels like you started with Chobo first, put it together, and thought like, this game isn't that fun if you're really coordinated. Maybe we should add another element instead to do that. And I don't know. I feel I have mixed feelings about that. Generally speaking, I have a lot of mixed feelings about Boro because it just makes it hard for me to understand what the game like it makes a game feel unpredictable and some level of randomness is fine. I am I have mixed feelings about whether Boro's level of randomness was good or not. You have it so that the guts, like the paddles, eventually widen their gap, and I think that's a really cool game mechanic. It's a nice way of adding on top of the pinball. I feel like most people find the game pretty difficult. Yeah, um, it's a little strange. In pinball, like you have these little dips here, right? In pinball, they don't have dips. S- And the reason why is because they want to make sure that you're always leading the ball to the paddle. So there was a lot of moments in the game where, you know, I just Chobo and Boro just stood there in the little dips, and I wasn't sure how to deal with that situation. It would have been nice if those were angled, similar to how you already have it here on the rest of these guts, so that the paddle was always relevant. I don't know that I felt like I felt like I wanted this to feel like a pinball game more, um, and a control Boro to figure out where to control Chobo to figure out how to get Boro to move around less. But that might just be me. I don't know. The points where they're just stuck in the dips was the most confusing moment for me, and it's just I feel like the momentum of the game stops entirely when that happens. So you might want to consider changing that a little bit. On the other hand, it does let you it does let you drag and drop Chobo whenever you feel like it. So maybe that was the intent behind it, but it didn't, for me it just didn't feel good. It certainly did not feel good that Boro can just drop in there and do who knows what. It was pretty fun. Classic pinball like game. You have this nice hit plus markers to it. I really liked actually the fact that these dots change color and you get bonus points for hitting it with the right colored object ball. That was really cool. Generally changed the motivation of it. I've mentioned earlier I don't like the paddle graphics too much. Specifically, it was hard for me to really get a feel of how far the character would bounce and fling off of those paddles. It was hard to feel the tactile strength of the paddles, especially since the paddle movement moving upwards is not something I do want it's something when you since the effect of the paddles are digital, right? You flip it up or down. There's no like tactile feel to it. You can't change the velocity of the paddles moving up. I'm not saying that you should add a system where it does that, but nonetheless, that adds to my comment of saying to me it was hard to get a feel of how far the paddles flung uh, these two characters. Um, it was also equally hard for me to get an idea of how far I can fling uh, Chobo in the sense that like I can see a blue line, sure, and I think having that slingshot line is useful, but also like being able to show a very, very short trail of lines to indicate its trajectory would have helped me too. Because it was hard for me to gauge how far back I needed to fling to send Chobo uh, flinging to a specific direction by a specific distance, if that makes any sense. Um, but yeah, that didn't quite. that was a little strange and didn't quite feel good in my opinion. Um, I would have liked a little more time to sink in when one of your characters falls through. So maybe while when they fall through, you put in like a game over text overlaid on top before it finally fades in the score display and everything. So that it just gives me a little more time to digest how how either one of those characters fell down. Just giving more time to be able to register the failure and giving the player a little more time to process why would be really useful, in my opinion. Lots of really interesting ideas here, and I certainly would love to see this idea explored a little more. There's a lot of interesting experimentation that can be done with it. I'm debating on whether the pinball format was such a good idea at the beginning. I think the paddle idea in particular I like. I'm not sure the pinball format was the best way to implement this, but I'm debating on that. Um, im- I don't know. The I would also add that the slowdown on when Chobo and Boro touches each other was strange. Um, I didn't like that it happened a lot, if that makes any sense. And I think my primary reason why I didn't like that it happened a lot was because I had no control over it. It might be interesting to add in one more button, like a space bar to slow down time. And you can only slow down time for a short amount of time. But now that becomes my way of controlling Boro whenever I feel like it, if that makes any sense. Um, Slowdowns that is not based off of the player having the ability to control when to trigger it is not fun in my opinion, but that might just be me. Um, there are some exceptions. I keep thinking about I was watching the or what's the company's name? I was watching a Platinum game, and they do use slowdown effects uh, very effectively to kind of give you the feel of how hard an attack hits. Um, but like that's information to me. Um, this is using slowdown as a way to prompt a user to do something, and I don't know. I'm debating on what's the best way to implement that. Like, it just didn't feel right that it would happen because you have so little control over these two balls. It didn't feel right that it would happen when basically the balls overlapped each other, if that makes any sense. I'm going to sleep. Are there other streams scheduled in the next days? We have one more, I believe, scheduled next weekend. Um, I will not be the one streaming that, but yeah, we do have one more stream planned. I believe by that point, Ludum Dare judging will be over, but nonetheless, we figured might as well check it out. All right, I am losing my breath. I couldn't. I should have grabbed a little more water back then, but that's all right. This will be the conclusion of the stream. So, yar. Hopefully I wasn't too harsh with all the comments. I apologize for the weird graphical glitches and the technical difficulties we've been dealing with. Um, yeah, no, I tried my best to at least give people, like, at least give something to that people can take away from it, rather than like, oh, this is fun. This was a really fun game, right? I feel like that's not very useful feedback. Um, I'm not exactly a chatty person though, so you can probably tell that while I was playing, I wasn't really saying too much. So that's my bad. Like I said, I hope I'm not being too harsh. I do think all of the games that I played today had some really cool potential behind them. Um, from, you know, the I need to go back. With Choboro, Virtomae, yeah. Virtomae having like an interesting way of implementing user customization into the game. I think there's a lot of really cool potential behind that. March to Heaven had a really cool message to send in its narrative. Blockage was like, you got me, you sold me on the aesthetics. I want to see gameplay to back it up. And Choboro had some really interesting mechanics. Um, I just didn't feel, it felt a little disjointed right now. I would like to see more. Um, I like to see a more cohesive experience, what's the word I'm looking for? Not melodic. Harmonious. There we go. I would like to see a more harmonious implementations of those mechanics that you've put together. But it's a genuinely interesting idea. Um, and I think it can be explored a little more. I would like to see more of it. So, yeah, no, those was a good selection of games. Thank you for submitting them. Like I said, we'll be streaming one more time next weekend, um, starting between 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. Um, I am in Central Time actually, so it's a little strange for me to say Eastern, but that's the case. Let's see. So that would be the April 23rd, and I believe Chris will be streaming that again. So hopefully, uh, hopefully you'll check us out then. I will do my best to send a comment since I can actually post comments. So yeah, I'll do that and make sure that we link it back to the appropriate recording so that you can check this back again next time. Thank you for the submissions, and we'll all see you next week. Bye.